If you're as hyped as I am for Warriors News Fan Report, smash that like button, subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of the action in blue and gold. Picking up where we left off, the very fabric of Dub Nation's offseason is rattled by one question. If Miami truly makes its move for Jonathan Kuminga, how does Golden State respond? The thought alone sends shivers through Chase Center's rafters. Imagine a world where Kuminga's explosiveness, that rocket speed first step next to Steph Curry, is instead unleashed under South Beach lights. Could this be the catalyst that forces Bob Myers and Steve Kerr into their boldest bluff yet? Let's dig into the rotation ramifications first. With Kuminga possibly on his way out, those minutes in the second unit suddenly become the hottest commodity in the Bay. Moses Moody, fresh off a 38-point Summer League explosion, stands poised to vault into primary wing duties, seeing his usage climb from 14 to 20 minutes per game. Could Moody's sharpshooting and improved free throw percentage up to 80% last season fill the void left by Kuminga's slashing away presence? Meanwhile, Brandon Podziemski's wing spacing ability would likely see a dip in value, shifting him to more situational minutes against smaller lineups. Fans are wondering if Podziemski could thrive in those niche matchups, turning specialist reps into show-stealing highlights. But don't sleep on Bronny James, whose preseason invites have given him a front-row seat to every development. If Kuminga departs, Bronny's projected 5 to 8 minutes per game might double, and we all know how alums sit up when they see blood in the water. Is it possible that Bronny, under Keer's tutelage and flanked by Steph's gravity, could accelerate his growth curve and become a bona fide two-way guard faster than anyone expects? Some insiders believe that this scenario could birth a surprise role player who rides the bench waves into regular rotation by midseason. Let's not forget Draymond Green's evolving role. With Kuminga gone, Kerr could stagger Draymond's minutes more aggressively, pairing him early with Curry to set the tone with floor spacing and veteran savvy. Or, conversely, Draymond might see his load management dialed back, inserting him in shorter bursts to mentor Moody. At Podziemski and live game intensity, could this hybrid lineup of Steph, Draymond, and Moody serve as the new core three during crunch time? Fans are wondering if this trio could replicate the switch-heavy defense and lethal shooting that defined Golden State's previous championship years across the league. The reactions would be instantaneous. Over in Denver, Nikola Jokic's camp would circle this development like sharks smelling weekend prey. If Kuminga exits, the Warriors become more predictable defensively. One Nuggets insider speculated on X. Meanwhile, Oklahoma City's front office might see this as Golden State loosening its grip on youth, sending them scramble scouting prospects like Chet Holmgren and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to gauge whether they can fill two-way needs that Kuminga once would have. Could Giddey's playmaking or Holmgren's rim protection end up being the next target for the Dubs? After sacrificing Kuminga, and in LA, the Clippers always lurking would pounce, with Paul George's request for a fresh dynamic partner still only half addressed. A potent package centered on Kuminga could land them a defensive rocket who torches opposing shooters off the catch. Some insiders believe that Doc Rivers laughs at the idea of Golden State giving up on youth. Rumors claim LA would sweeten any deal with a future second-rounder and a veteran contract carve-out to help Kerr manage minute loads. Could that be the kind of offer that finally tempts Myers to pull the trigger from a strategic playoff standpoint? This trade chatter has seismic undertones. Imagine Miami unleashing Kuminga alongside Jimmy Butler in a first-round upset bid, then swapping that Warrior back for a high-floor veteran come midseason. Golden State, by contrast, might use the acquired assets to shore up bench scoring, adding a 15-point per game wing who addresses the very shooting slump that plagued them in last year's second-round exit. Is it possible that flipping Kuminga for immediate help could vault the Dubs from a wild-card hopeful to a top-seed favorite? Through all the noise, one thing remains clear: the yin and yang of youth versus veteran stability is the existential question for this franchise. Kaleidoscopic visions of playoff runs flashed before us, one where Moody at Podziemski unlocked next-level play, another where a veteran swap redefines the bench's identity. Some insiders believe that whichever path Golden State chooses, it will hinge on how much faith they place in Kuminga's untapped ceiling versus the proven reliability of established talent. When the smoke clears, the ultimate prize is another banner at Chase Center. But will that come by nurturing Kuminga's raw brilliance, or by cashing in on his value to chase a now or never veteran signee? Is this seismic enough to alter the course of another dynasty chase? Personally, as a Warrior supporter, I believe that Jonathan Kuminga's upside is too vital to the long-term heartbeat of the franchise's combination of athleticism, youth, and cap-friendly contract years embody the spirit of Dub Nation's future. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. Asterisk, if Golden State does decide to trade Kuminga, the ripple effects on the salary cap could be profound. Shedding his rookie-scale contract might open up room to pursue a coveted veteran free agent this summer, perhaps a stretch four who can consistently punish defenses from deep, or a seasoned playmaker who alleviates Steph's ball-handling burden. That newfound financial flexibility could also buy the Dubs precious luxury tax space, giving Myers the freedom to re-sign Chris or Ingles without pushing the payroll into punitive territory. Could this offseason maneuvering set the stage for a December blockbuster rather than a mid-season scramble beyond the numbers? Imagine the locker room shifting its identity overnight. Kuminga's energy and unpredictability had become a staple of team chemistry. His alley-oops and chase-down blocks spark the bench into life and bring the crowd roaring. If he departs, Steve Kerr will need to reforge that spark, leaning even harder on Draymond's emotional leadership and relying on veteran voices like Klay Thompson's calm under pressure. Is it possible that this cultural recalibration could yield a more veteran-driven unity? Or will the absence of that raw youthful exuberance leave a void only a fresh face can fill? On the hardwood, playoff matchup previews would take on a new tone. Picture a Warrior squad featuring Moody and Podziemski in wing slots against the Lakers' LeBron D small ball, or the Suns' relentless pick-and-roll attack. Without Kuminga's length to contest shots, defenses might aggressively bait Curry into isolation, daring others to make plays. Yet with a retooled bench addition, maybe a sharpshooter from Europe or a modern stretch for the Dubs could counterpunch with incendiary offense when it matters most. Fans are wondering if this tactical chess match could be the key to slipping past Western Conference juggernauts. Long-term, the draft board suddenly becomes a coiled spring. Any picks exchanged for Kuminga would need to translate into talent who can step in down the line, keeping the championship window open for Steph's twilight years. While Golden State target high-upside wing prospects to replace the versatility lost, or will they pivot toward a two-way guard to complement Curry's spacing? Could a hidden gem in the 2026 draft be the secret weapon that balances immediate contention with sustainable growth, ensuring Dub Nation remains in the title conversation for years to come? Off the court, the chatter in Bay Area media outlets and social feeds is deafening. Local reporters are already penciling columns headline "End of an Era," while podcast panels argue fiercely over the merits of youth versus win-now veteran swaps. In community watch parties, die-hard season ticket holders debate whether the emotional attachment to Kuminga clouds rational roster building, or if it's exactly the kind of passion-driven loyalty that fuels dynasties. Some insiders believe that only time will tell if this gamble cements a fresh championship run or leaves fans longing for the explosive promise they once cheered every night at Chase Center. Riding the wave with me, smash that like button, subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and ring the bell so you're first in line for every splashy update in blue and gold. Picking up from our last whirlpool of speculation, the very idea of Jonathan Kuminga packing his bags for South Beach has set off a chain reaction that could redefine every minute allocation in Steve Kerr's blueprint. With Kuminga potentially suiting up in Miami red and black, the question on everyone's lips is how Golden State pivots, and fast. Could this seismic shift in personnel unleash a new cohort of role players, or will it leave the Dubs scrambling to reconstruct their identity just as the postseason race heats up? First, let's talk minutes and matchups. Without Kuminga's 15 to 18 frames per night, where he averaged 13.8 points on 46.5% shooting and swatted away 1.2 shots at the rim, Moses Moody suddenly becomes the go-to slasher off the bench, likely jumping from 14 to nearly 20 minutes per game to fill the two-way void. Some insiders believe Moody's 37.1% three-point clip could stabilize the floor spacing. That slipped when Kuminga attacked from the arc at 35.8%. Meanwhile, Brandon Podziemski's role morphs into high-leverage specialist, inserting him for crunch time spurts where his 11.7 points per outing and 37.2% from deep could spark instant scoring punches. Is it possible that Podziemski's fearless rookie instincts will flourish under this heavier load, turning him into the X-factor Kerr desperately needs? Then there's Bronny James, the summer invite, who's been soaking up every practice rep like a sponge. With Kuminga out of the picture, Bronny's slated garbage time banner could balloon into 5 to 8 meaningful minutes each night minutes. That might forge steel in his rookie year crucible. Fans are wondering if we're witnessing the covert plan to fast-track the next generation of Bronny under Curry's tutelage and Draymond's defensive drills. Could emerge as a reliable perimeter guard by January? Could this be the moment Dub Nation discovers a hidden gem in plain sight? Draymond Green's veteran presence takes on renewed importance. Without Kuminga's wingspan to disrupt shooters, Kerr may stagger Draymond's rotations, planning him alongside Curry to anchor the first unit and guide the younger components through defensive coverages. Or he could shorten Green's bursts, deploying him in 20-minute stints to mentor Moody and Podziemski and live game chaos. Some insiders believe this Draymond-led mini-core could energize the bench, recalibrating the team's flow balance so that when the starters rest, the second group doesn't dissolve under pressure. Could this approach replicate the death lineup magic of years past? But with fresh faces at the edges, across the league, rival executives are sharpening their pencils. In Denver, Nikola Jokic's camp views a Kuminga-less Warriors as a blueprint for exploitation. Jokic averaged a jaw-dropping 30 points and 11 points for rebounds against Golden State in last year's playoffs, buoyed by the absence of length to contest his mid-range artistry. Oklahoma City scouts, meanwhile, may see this as the opportune moment to pitch Chet Holmgren or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to fill that switchable wing void, an offer designed to tempt a front office desperately hanging on to veteran relevance. Could Sam Presti's rumored pitch of a two-way Phenom for second-round capital tip the scales? Not to be outdone, the Clippers lurk in the shadows. LA insiders suggest they pair Kuminga's departure with a package centered on Ivica Zubac's salary and a protected pick, banking on Doc Rivers' system to refine Kuminga's raw explosiveness into a championship caliber role. Clippers fans on X are already chanting, "Send the young blood south. We've got the veteran pieces to win now." Some insiders believe this is more than posturing that LA could incentivize Golden State by dangling veteran wings with 12 to 15 points per game and playoff experience in exchange. Could such an offer finally tempt Bob Myers into parting with his prized prospect? Strategically, the playoff chessboard shifts dramatically. Imagine the Warriors entering the first round with a rotation led by Curry, Thompson, and Green, backed by Moody's slashing, Podziemski's catch-and-shoot prowess, and a dynamic new veteran off the bench. Without Kuminga, the Dubs might lean into a small ball plus formula, leveraging speed and shooting to counter heavy front courts. Fans are wondering if this retooled identity, less reliant on raw athleticism, more on precision spacing, could outmaneuver traditional powerhouses like Phoenix or Minnesota. Could this calculated gamble vault the Warriors into a top 3 seed, insulating them from playing danger? Off the court, the emotional drumbeat is deafening. Adrian Wojnarowski tweeted, sources, Heat deep in talks on Kuminga. Warriors set to counter with veteran wing offers and draft assets. A simple line. That sent Dub Nation into a frenzy. Shams Charania followed with, league sources say, Golden State values Kuminga as untapped star, but is intrigued by offers that address shooting concerns. Even Andre Iguodala, in a rare social media cameo, posted an emoji-laden story of a storm cloud over Chase Center, igniting speculation that former champions are uneasy about this pivot. Local fan groups have splintered, one side adamant that trading Kuminga is sacrilege, the other desperate for a proven scorer to end the bench drought that haunted them last spring. Bar chatter near Telegraph Avenue has become an off-season ritual. Patrons in Bay Area sports bars debate over pints. We drafted Kuminga to be our future, but a championship window waits for nobody. If we miss the playoffs again, what good is potential? Some older season ticket holders lament the notion of youth traded for short-term gain, while younger fans argue that in the NBA's ruthless win-now climate, contending means pulling every lever, even if it bruises tradition. This cultural tug-of-war might be the real drama that defines the franchise's ethos. In the Curry era's twilight dot as June turns to July, all eyes will be on the notification bell, both literally on your phone and figuratively in the front office. Will Golden State hold firm, banking on Kuminga's sky-high ceiling and a maturation curve under Keer's guidance? Or will they strike a deal to shore up shooting and veteran depth, betting that a title now is worth sacrificing tomorrow's potential? Could this be the decision that decides whether Dub Nation chants champions? Or what if for years to come, is this audacious enough to land another banner at Chase Center? Personally, as a ride-or-die member of Dub Nation, I believe That while the allure of a win-now infusion is strong, Jonathan Kuminga's untamed talent and youth are the keystones of our long-term dynasty. If we lose him now, we may win a game or two, but I can't shake the feeling that our true legacy lies in nurturing our future stars. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts, and subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report so you never miss another explosive update.